The medical bay aboard the Celestial Harmony glowed softly, bathed in the cool blue light of advanced Xylarian technology. Eleanor pressed her three-fingered hand against the side of her head, her crystalline skin rippling between uneasy violet and distressed crimson. "Why won't it stop pounding, human?" she cried, her normally melodic voice warped by pain. George glanced up from his datapad, struggling not to smile. The human medical officer had warned her, twice, in fact. But Eleanor, the ship's brilliant xenobiologist, had been convinced that if a recovery serum worked on humans, it would surely be safe for her species as well. "I told you not to drink that," George said calmly as he set his equipment aside and stepped toward the exam table where Eleanor lay sprawled in dramatic agony. "You said it would probably cause mild discomfort," she protested, narrowing her luminous eyes. "This is not discomfort. This is," she waved helplessly at her skull, "a war drum exploding in my head." George pulled up a stool beside her. 3 days earlier, the ship had passed through debris left from an ancient battlefield. Eleanor's injuries had been minor, but enough to keep her confined to medical. During that time, she'd watched George treat his own wounds with a human recovery serum, a blend of cellular accelerants, nutrients, and what humans vaguely referred to as the good stuff. Within hours, George's cuts had closed. By the next day, he was fully recovered. Eleanor's curiosity, combined with her species' tendency toward impulsive experimentation, had done the rest. "How long will this last?" she groaned, her skin now pulsing between deep purple and a sickly green. George raised his scanner, sweeping it over her body. The results made him whistle. "Well, your heart's operating at about 3 times normal output. Your neural activity looks like a supernova, and your metabolism," he paused. "You're burning energy faster than a fusion core." "Make it stop," Eleanor pleaded, gripping George's arm with startling strength. "Can't," he replied simply. "Another side effect. It has to run its course." George explained that human physiology was designed for extreme stress. Humans were persistence hunters, bodies built to endure punishment, recover quickly, and keep moving forward. Xylarians, by contrast, had evolved in low-gravity crystal caverns, free from predators or prolonged danger. Their biology simply wasn't made for this level of acceleration. Eleanor let out a sound halfway between a hiss and a whimper. "How do humans live like this? This pressure, this energy," she suddenly froze, eyes widening. "I can hear the engine core. 5 decks away." "Enhanced sensory input," George confirmed. "You'll also experience increased aggression and appetite." "I'm starving," Eleanor interrupted, swinging her legs off the table. "I need food immediately. Something big." George gently pushed her back down. "You are not eating the livestock. I'll get you protein rations." "But I can smell them," she insisted, pupils dilating. "They smell amazing." "That's the serum talking," George said. "Your species is herbivorous." "Not right now," she muttered. George ran a hand through his hair, barely holding back laughter. This was precisely why the serum came with a warning label long enough to qualify as literature. Humans had spent thousands of years adapting to physical extremes. Their bodies were biological tanks. The serum didn't create those traits, it amplified them. For peaceful species like the Xylarians, the effects were overwhelming. "The throbbing," Eleanor said softly, her voice distant. "It's changing. It's not pain anymore. It's rhythm." She focused on George, eyes blazing with intensity. "Like a heartbeat before battle." "Oh no," George muttered. Eleanor stood. This time, he didn't stop her. She walked to the viewport, pressing her hand against the transparent aluminum. "I understand now," she said quietly. "This is what humans feel. This drive. This hunger to act." Eleanor turned back toward George, her skin glowing a steady, radiant gold, a color he had never seen on a Xylarian before. "You conquered your world not through superior technology," she said, but through sheer refusal to stop. You keep moving even when your bodies should fail. Pain becomes fuel. Exhaustion becomes purpose. George nodded slowly. That's surprisingly accurate. It's terrifying, Eleanor whispered. And exhilarating. She paused. And I never want to feel it again. She swallowed, then asked, how long does this last for humans? About 12 hours, George replied, checking his scanner again. For you? Hard to say. Maybe 3 days. Possibly more. Her skin flickered through every color imaginable before settling into a dull blue. I'm going to die. You're not going to die, George said patiently. You're just going to be extremely uncomfortable, and probably want to fight everyone. I already want to fight you, she snapped. See? Working perfectly. Despite everything, Eleanor laughed, a sound like chiming crystal, before immediately groaning and clutching her head again. Even laughing hurts. George placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. For what it's worth, you're handling this better than most. Last year, a Valoran diplomat tried the Serum and challenged our captain to single combat. What happened? Our captain's human. She accepted. Broke 3 of his arms. Eleanor stared at George with newfound respect, and fear. Humans are insane. Humans are survivors, George corrected. As they headed toward the mess hall, Eleanor muttered, if I survive this, I'm publishing a paper. Why human medical science requires legal restraints. George laughed. I'll co-author. Why won't it stop throbbing? She groaned one last time. Because, George said, smiling, you're temporarily human. And we never stop.